Aloha, Kahea, Heart, Hawaii Surf and Performance here. Let's do some basic mobility. Grab a coffee, tea, your favorite drink, some smoothies, and let's get your body moving. Take your joints through some ranges of motion so that you're used to taking them there. Basically, move it or lose it. You're going to do a couple of internal, external femur rotations, pivoting your foot on your heel. Go about 8 to 10 on each side. Feeling and testing the range. You can take the knee in and take the knee out. Here we're going to do some 90-90 shin boxes or hip rotations. Let's go for about 10 rotations here. Just feel and move them back and forth. Let the hips wind over. Use your hands to support yourself. As you progress and you feel the hips are strong enough and your core is strong enough, you can take out the arms. This is a progression. For myself, I hadn't done this in about 2 days and I can see my hips are looking pretty tight. It's hard for me to rotate left and right. After those 10 rotations, you're going to pause on one side, lean forward, trying to reach your chest out and over your shin, keeping the back nice and straight. Try to reach that lead hip crease back. You'll feel the stretch in the front glute there. Remember, keep your back straight. Don't round over. Reaching the chest forward for about 30 seconds. And then switch to the other side. And slowly bring that chest forward, out and over the shin, reaching that hip crease back. Hold for 30 seconds, feeling the stretch in the glute of the lead leg. Then we're going to stop, take a little coffee break, sip your tea, smoothie, whatever. If you got a stool, maybe a little taller one than this, or a countertop is actually better for this lat and tricep stretch. You're going to come to the countertop. You're going to place the pinky side of your palms down with your thumbs to the sky. Bend the knees and push down, taking the hips back, back flat. Feel the stretch in the lats and the triceps. Let your head hang. Slowly straighten the legs here, and you can twist to the right, twist to the left, stretching out each one. Holding this stretch for about 30 seconds. And we're coming up, move those shoulders around, feel those lats. Then we're going to go into a quad and hip flexor stretch. You're going to tuck your pelvis forward, lift my shoulders, push my hips forward, squeezing and flexing the glute of the back leg. You're going to bring that leg up, grab it, holding, still flexing the glute of the back leg. Hold for 30 seconds, building up to 1 minute. If it's really tight, just breathe into it. Focus on your breath. The muscles will relax. Extend the exhales. Then you're going to stop the timer. Switch over to the other side here. Remember, don't forget to set your timer. Tuck your pelvis forward. Engage the glute. And pull that back leg up. Holding for 30 seconds to a minute. Find yourself, stay centered, focus on the breath. Feel that stretch across the front of the quad, up into the hip flexor. Remember, you just focus on your breath. Extend the exhales to get the muscles to relax. Timer went off. That's time for a coffee break. From here, we're going to go into a deltoid chest stretch and a bicep stretch. You're going to place your hands behind you and walk your hips away from your hands, pushing your arms into the floor. Work your way into this thing. This is the progression. You're going to hold for about 30 seconds. If you want to progress here, you're going to lift the hips up, feeling that stretch across the deltoid, the chest, and the bicep. Remember, this part is a progression. Start slowly, stay in the first part if it's feeling pretty tight. For about 30 seconds here and come back down. Shake those wrists out, feel that movement you've just gained. And then we're going to come on up to the feet, do a few good mornings. Hinge at the hips, let the knees give in here. We're not going straight leg good mornings. Slowly let those hamstrings strengthen and lengthen, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Go for about 10 repetitions here. Make sure the feet are square. You're going to hold on number 10 and then just hang down for about 20-30 seconds. Feel where the hamstrings are tight. Shake it out. Bring yourself up. Next one's pretty difficult. Some people have a hard time here because most of the time humans nowadays are sitting in vehicles, sitting at computers, sitting at desks, or on their phone. Can you stay in a squat? Can you just hang out here? Can you press into your knees? Can you lean to the right? Can you lean to the left? 1 minute in a squat position. Weight is in your heels, back is straight, just leaning to one side, pushing into the hips, letting the knees come in, and then pushing them back out. Just focus on the breath. It'll be hard if you've got really tight calves and ankles, so there's another place to start working on that. But the sooner you get to this position and the more you do it, the more your body gets used to it. It's going on almost about 1 minute here. It's feeling pretty good. Pushing out on those knees, and there goes the timer. Time to come back up. Next, we're going to go into some down dog presses. So get in the down dog position, start with the knees bent, bend them and push them and straighten them. Feeling which hamstring is tight. Go for about 10 presses, make sure you don't knock over the coffee, and then continue on. Down dog press extensions. On the 10th extension, you're going to stand down dog and do some heel presses. Bend one leg and switch. Push the heel into the floor, stretching those calves and ankles out. One at a time. Go for about 10 to 12 presses here. Alternating, reaching your hips to the sky, pushing your hands into the floor, hands flat on the floor. Focus on the breathing. Just find those ranges, play with it. On the last one, you're going to push up onto the toes. Both toes push up and then push both down to the floor, reaching those sit bones for the sky. And we're going to come back down to the floor, hands and knees here. I'm going to go into some crawling, crawl backwards, lift the knees up off the floor. Opposite hand, opposite foot are moving, keeping the hips nice and controlled. They're not swinging back and forth. Real controlled movements, front to back, opposite hand, opposite foot. This is a very good core exercise. Try to keep the knees low to the floor. Start going laterally, opposite hand, opposite foot. Set your timer. Try to go for 45 seconds to a minute. Nice and controlled. No minimal hip movement. Not a lot of hips moving here. Forward and back. And then if you can't crawl because of a wrist injury or toe injury or knees or hips, you can do dead bugs. So you're going to lay on your back, arms up, knees at 90 degrees, ribs down, flatten your low back to the floor. That's the goal here. Keep the ribs down in that midsection nice and controlled. Don't let the ribs arch up and the arch of the low back lift off the floor. Resist. This is core stability. Remember, Ribs down, low back flat to the floor, hands up, knees up, opposite hand, opposite leg. Go for about 20 repetitions. Once you find the control, really focus on your breathing, keeping the ribs and core engaged to keep that back nice and flat to the floor. Once you're done, it's back to coffee break. Come back into that squatting position and enjoy your coffee. If there's anything else you guys want to see, subscribe, leave a message, comment below. Mahalo.